Good evening. I'd like to call the Unsafe Building Department meeting at 5:32 p.m. Please rise to pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Ms. Sethauer? Present. Mr. Rozenich?
Present.
Ms. Sheehan is absent. Mr. Deutmeyer?
Here.
Ms. Abernathy? Present. Mr. Gatto?
Here.
Ms. Heiduk is present.
Minutes of October 18th meeting. If no changes, make motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I second. Roll call.
Ms. Sethauer?
Yes.
Mr. Rozenich?
Yes. All right. Our first property, 11104 West 133rd Avenue, Ray Hall. Hi there.
Everything's pretty much done. I think, I don't know, Ashley and Tony said they could update, and I didn't have to come, but I figured I'd be here anyway. I think the only thing left is, I can't get anybody to sign off on the permit, because there's some mysterious law about I need to have grass that's sprouted growing on the property.
The permit for, what does he need a permit for now?
I think you're just saying to extend the permit, right?
Well, I'd like to actually just get this stuff done.
Right, the ordinance states.
Yeah, did we find that ordinance? Because nobody can find this mysterious ordinance.
Michelle told me that it has to be seeded.
It's seated.
When we discussed this last year, it was grass.
Seed
It wasn't
grass
just
has to
seed.
be growing, yeah.
So,
Right, but I've asked, like, on multiple occasions if somebody can show me what the code of law is, and it's unproducible.
Let me catch up here. Seeded in grass in order to do what?
Grass, not just seeded. It's an ordinance for the town. Just like a new home, it has to have grass.
So he's gonna stay on this?
No, he does not have to stay on this.
This
The
is,
permit would have to be extended and just basically until June, July, whatever, until there's
And which permit is that, I'm sorry? The demo
a
permit?
demo, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
so we can't do a certificate of completion until there's grass growing. This is so we can just make sure that the grade stabilized, that there's not gonna be any runoff or stuff like that. That's why, whenever any demolition permit comes in, they have to be regraded and reseeded with grass growing before over in the building department, they can say that everything's good, the final's checked off, we make the certificate of completion and we get it over to utility billing.
Okay. And you planted the grass, you said?
I seeded to meet the requirements, and so do we know who can actually find that law?
I don't.
Because at this point, it's Bigfoot. Everybody believes in it, but nobody knows it exists.
Frankly, I didn't know either,
Right.
so you're looking at the wrong person here.
No, I know, but so, because within the permit documentation, the only thing that's listed here is that, it says if I do not intend to rebuild within a month, I have to seed the property before final inspection. But it doesn't say that it actually has to sprout to grass.
Okay.
But other than that, that's the last portion to get the building permit closed out.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate you doing what you did so far.
Right.
As far as the grass and how the town handles that after this, I mean, you're done with us.
Okay.
We would just need, a motion for the building permit to be released back to the building department so we can extend it out for the full year.
Okay.
And just so we're clear, Tony, because there was, the garage is where the birds lived, right?
Yes.
That's closed up,
Yep.
everything there was okay? Because I think you said before you want to store a lawnmower or something in there.
Yeah, so.
And that building is not an
As far as
issue?
I know, yeah, when I told my, when you were spreading the straw.
Okay.
So, yeah, the garage was closed up.
Yeah, then if it's no longer unsafe, then it'd just be the motion to remove it from this agenda, release the permit back to them, and they can process it from there.
Okay.
Does the building department extend the expiration on the permit then, or do you need to do that? 'Cause
As
it
long as they give
expires.
us permission to, we can.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, I just don't wanna get released and then somebody say, well, it's expired and we can't do anything,
Right.
type of a scenario. So, okay.
Yeah, as long as the board is okay with it, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd like to make that motion to remove this from the unsafe list and then release the permit back to, the building department.
And permission to extend it.
Permission to extend, yes, I'm sorry.
I second. Roll call?
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Next property, 9320 West 142nd Avenue, NWI Casas LLC.
They are on Zoom tonight.
Yes, I'm here.
How are we doing, sir? What's happened since last time?
So, like I mentioned in the last meeting, I've had issues being able to pull guys to do the demo work. And so I brought in someone else that I believe, at least according to him, has a good working relationship, with the building department. And that's Tom Ristic with Nycal Construction. I guess on December 8th, he was supposed to pull the permit, and I guess he had a bunch of guys get sick, and, a couple other excuses. But I've been in contact with him most of the day today, and I guess he said that, with the holidays, he has been swamped, or after the first of the year, he should be able to pull that permit and get it done, within the same week. Obviously, it's not a lot that needs to get done, but he's there local, and he should be able to move a lot quicker than pulling guys from up north here where I am, so.
Real quick, sir, can we get your name and address for the record, please?
Oh, yes, Junior Martin, 2701 West 45th Avenue, Gary.
So,
Last month, this was deferred to this month, with the order for them to submit for a new interior demolition permit to determine what needs to be done for the house.
and so now he's got a new person?
It sounds like he's asking, so you're saying that you have a new person that's gonna be pulling this permit after the beginning of the year?
Correct. So, like I mentioned in the last meeting, I was having issues. Obviously Olson was doing the work, but they've not been able to, they pulled the original permit, and then we were never able to get guys actually there. And so instead of continuing to, kick this down, I've talked to Tom, I've worked with him in the past, and according to him, he has he's done a lot of work with you guys, and he's licensed there. And he was supposed to pull the permit on the 8th, but like I said, I guess that there was some illness and things that took place. And so I've been in contact with him every single day, and he said as soon as he gets through the holidays, he should be able to get that taken care of the first week of January.
Ashley, do you know this contractor? Is he on the list?
Who's the contractor that you're referencing?
It's Nycal, N-I-C-A-L Construction. Ristic is the last name, R-I-S-T-I-C.
Are they licensed through the town?
That is what he said. Well, I believe it would be licensed through county, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
As a general, he would have to be licensed through county before we would license him.
You said N-I-C?
Correct. A-L.
A-L? I don't see them as a registered contractor with the town.
So he might have done work in the town, but probably wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
So if he's gonna pull a permit at the beginning of the year, he needs to fill out a contractor's application form. It's an easy enough process. He can contact any of us in the building department and we can tell him what all we need.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this has been going on since June of '22. Is that true?
Yeah,
So,
this was originally Pam Broadway,
Oh,
And then
okay.
we transferred it to this entity, I
Okay.
think, middle of this year-ish.
Oh,
July.
That
I
would
think.
sound familiar.
Correct. I bought it from him, not knowing the history.
well, I guess the only thing we can do is, have to have everything by January 17th of next meeting.
Yeah, you had me until, we realized this guy's not even licensed with the town. I guess I'd feel a lot better if he was licensed with the town and the permit was pulled. I understand he might be swamped, but that's just coming in and signing some paper. Have you already given this guy a deposit?
No.
Has he been to the property and seen the scope of work?
Yes, he has.
So what are you asking for today?
I guess would just be continued to the next meeting so that we can get it knocked out right after the first of the year. I mean, it's literally only 2 days of work. I mean, it shouldn't, it's, yeah, it was just getting the permit pulled and getting him in there.
So is your thought that between now and the next meeting, he can get straight with the town, get the permit, and do the work before January 17th?
Yes.
Huh. All right.
Just so we're clear, sort of on the scope, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, as memory serves me on this one, this was an interior demo permit so they could see what's behind the walls to figure out what exactly needs to be done to repair it, right?
Correct.
Okay. It's not actually fixing the property up, this is sort of the first step to figure out what they need to do to fix it. All right.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Like, okay.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to extend this for 30 days with the understanding that this guy will come in, do the work that he needs to do to get licensed with the town, and have the work done within the next 30 days,
January 17th.
or actually before this January 17th meeting.
So does your motion include putting a time limitation on that permit when it's applied for? I mean, do you want it to expire, I guess, on January 17th? Or
Correct.
do you want to give them, okay.
I second that motion. Roll call,
Ms. Sessower?
Yes.
Ms. Rosenek?
yes. Motion carried. Do you understand, sir?
I do, yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. All right, next property, 7308 West 138th Place, Parrot.
Also online via Zoom.
Pardon?
Also online via Zoom.
Oh, hi.
Name and address for the record, sir.
Joseph Parrott, 4218 Garden Ridge Road, Crestwood, Kentucky, 40014.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Parrott, where are we at with this now?
Well, I wanted to ask a couple questions first. Regarding our last meeting,
Oh, I see.
you indicated to me that if a potential buyer was gonna buy the property, that they would still be able to come to you with plans to fix it, correct? Because that's what I told the Realtor.
They can come in front of the board and ask for a stay in the order, and the board can grant that. That's entirely the board's decision.
Okay, because that's what I thought. I just want to make sure I explained it properly to them, because the people were interested in keeping the, they saw the note on the door, and that kind of scared them, obviously, which I expected it would. So, but I've got a couple things here. The tenant, obviously, he's still looking for a place to move to. So I've got that issue. I don't, I'm asking for a 30-day deferral. A couple things have come up since you guys requested this demolition paperwork. I've come in contact with a gentleman named Jeremy McNamers of JJM Home Improvement, and I've been in contact. I'm going to get in contact with him to put together a proposal to fix some of the deficiencies. So I'm respectfully requesting some kind of deferral, one, for the tenant to be able to find another place to live, and also for me to maybe see if I can't get this thing fixed so that I can sell it as, you know, with the home as well. I mean, it's still for sale.
Yeah.
But I hate to lose the home.
So it's still on the market to be sold?
Yes, it is. I've got a couple interested parties, but like I said, I needed to make sure that they can still come to you if indeed we come to an agreement, and they can still fix it. But in the meantime, I also want to meet with this JJM Home Improvement and see if I can't get some of the things going prior, if that falls through for some reason. And then the other thing, again, I've got the tenant still in there. You know, this all came about with him as far as this demolition stuff. He knew it was, he's good looking, but he hasn't found anything yet.
It's just one thing for the record with regards to the tenant. I don't know the exact days, but every year, it's an annual tradition here in Lake County that they institute a moratorium on evictions and things like that. So even if anything were to happen, you could not forcibly remove him from the property anytime before, it's probably the middle of January. So take that into consideration with, if you want to bump this to January 17th or not, you couldn't do anything with him in the meantime.
Yeah.
Well, it was last month.
Well, I guess my concern is with this demolition order that, I received this thing in the mail, and I guess I totally don't, I'm not in 100% understanding of it. So he's looking, but I just want to make sure legally everything's being done properly.
I guess my question is, last month you were insistent on not fixing the property.
All right.
And
Well, no,
so,
I was insisting on trying to sell it. That's why it's on the market. I'd rather sell it.
but now you're saying you're willing to
Well,
fix it.
simply because, you know, at this point, it looks like, based on that letter I got, I mean, the building still has some value. I hate for it to be demolished. And the way that letter read, and then on top of that, the tenant's still in there, so I'm kind of in a pickle here. So I want to see what this proposal is, get a little bit of deferral on that. I can maybe at least get the roof going or something.
And I assume what's confusing him probably a little bit is in the initial demolition order, they're all standard form, but what they do is they require you to have the property either repaired or demolished before the date on it, which would be today's date. Actually, it's probably before
Yeah, it was
yesterday.
yesterday's date, yes.
So we set it the day before this hearing,
Okay.
or in the alternative, to come to this hearing and present whatever evidence you have regarding the condition of the property, whether it's unsafe or not, et cetera, et cetera.
So at this point, I'm sorry to cut you off, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
So
And,
at this point, could we give them a 30-day deferral
yeah.
on the demo permit, or on the demo order?
Yeah, so the only step that you guys have taken so far is issue the initial order of demolition.
Yes.
There is still a second order that would be required before it would even end up on sort of the town's demos. So we're at the sort of evidentiary hearing, if you will, for that initial demolition order. If he's asking for more time, that is something that's certainly within your purview, and like I said, you couldn't do anything about the tenant in the meantime anyways, because nobody wants to be put out in the cold during the Christmas
Well, yeah,
season,
especially in
and
the
the sheriff's
winter.
not gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't need a 30-day deferral on the order, we just need a 30-day deferral on this.
Correct, yeah, because
Agenda
what it would do is basically, you sit to the planning commission, right, there's a public hearing, you would just continually leave the hearing open for 30 days. That's effectively what you're doing for this, is you're gonna leave the hearing on this demolition order open for 30 days, and then revisit it in January, if that's what you wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah, sure, I'd be fine doing that. One thing on the tenant, you've been with us for a long time.
Right.
I mean, this isn't something that just popped up. Of course, I don't want to see anyone homeless. But
No.
there's definitely been lots of time for something to happen here. So,
Right,
my hope is
but-
that he can find a place in the next month, because,
Well, I know, I've encouraged him from the beginning of all this to be looking, but really, in his price range and stuff, he's struggling to find what he's looking for, so it's...
well, I struggle with a tenant being in a home that's deemed unsafe.
Right. I agree.
So that's where my head's at. I'm fine with the 30-day, what do I call it, not a deferral, it's just a pause on the agenda item?
I mean, it'd be a deferral. You're just
Okay.
deferring it and keeping the public hearing open.
So, a deferral for 30 days, but with the understanding that the tenant can't be an excuse. The tenant shouldn't even be living there.
Right.
So, I'd like to see him find someplace that's safe to live, first of all. Second of all, in that 30 days, I'd really like to see a report from Jeremy or an understanding, if you're gonna choose to use him as your contractor, with a scope of work and an understanding of what that looks like.
Okay,
And either a yes or a no if you're gonna proceed with it.
okay,
The needing more time in 30 days isn't gonna happen probably.
right, okay. So, okay, that sounds fair. Yeah, because I'm very concerned about and I understand both your concerns as well, but I want, I don't, like you said, I don't want anybody to be homeless, so, especially in the cold.
I understand completely. He also deserves to have a safe place to live as well, so.
Agree.
Do you have any questions about that?
No, I think I understand. So, with this other part, though, that you talked about, a second, whatever, with regard to, because I'm not still totally sure how this works with this, so I can explain it better to my realtor. So this first letter, so there still has to be a second one? I mean, only from the standpoint of selling the property. And do I have to leave that paper on the front door, or?
No,
Yeah.
that was just your notice. You don't have to leave it there. You could have received it off the door. Your tenant could have at any point in time.
Okay, well, I mean, I want to be upfront with whoever's buying it, but that's why I didn't move it. I didn't know if it was something like, some legality thing I had to leave on there.
Yes, so legally you have to be upfront with whoever's purchasing the
Oh,
property.
right, no,
So-
I understand that. That's why I'm asking these questions, because I don't want to, tell the realtor that they would be able to come to your meeting if they bought the property, and then you'd say, well, you can't keep the house or something.
No, here's the thing, we want to see the house be either in a safe condition or down. So
Right.
if it's for sale and you're forthcoming with the agent, and they're forthcoming with the clients, that it's on our list, and somewhere to get under contract and come in here and say, listen, this is my plan, I'm gonna flip it, I'm gonna fix it, here's my contractor, here's my scope of work, here's my time frame. I don't want to speak for
Right.
Donna, but I would be fine with that.
I agree.
We need some sort of a plan, but no, we're not gonna look at the person and say, we're tearing the house down. There's a plan.
Right, well, that was my concern, because again, when I had, the realtor came to the property the other day, and the thing was on the door. The tenant, I guess, thought he should leave it on there too, and the tenant wasn't there, and she was kind of shocked by that, and these prospective buyers saw it, and it scared them.
Well, had you not told your agent that this was on the unsafe list?
Well, no, they knew that part, but not this the thing about the demolition posted on the door.
Well,
You see what I mean?
It was-
So when they got there that day, she didn't know that yet, because I didn't know it was on the door.
well, that was decided,
November.
meeting, yeah.
Do you have questions regarding what happened tonight, or anything else?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm good, I understand now. If I have more questions, I'll contact Ashley or somebody.
Yes, we just want to see the house either safe or definitely vacant and demoed. So whatever the quickest and most correct path to that is where we want to be.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, sir, we'll see you in 30 days.
Second to motion.
Excuse me, not 30 days, on January 17th. Oh, I made the motion, I'm sorry.
I don't know if you made a motion yet.
I did, but then,
She did.
yeah, I still make a motion for a 30-day deferral on this agenda item.
I second. Roll call.
Have a Merry Christmas.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenek?
Yes. Motion carried. Next property, 13947 Hobart Street, Weiss.
Just so you guys know, late today, I think Ashley received the same email I did from Attorney Dargo. The Dargo that was always here, I think his name is David. Did we decide that?
Yes.
David. He was unable to be here tonight because he had a child that was ill and didn't have childcare. But the report that was sent over to us was, and we double-checked the docket, they have filed a motion for default judgment in the quiet title litigation, because if you'll remember, this was the one that a neighbor apparently tried to transfer to himself or something. Neighbor failed to appear. They could have filed that motion at any point in time between August, well, probably middle of September now, but they filed it now, so it's on file. The court has not entered an order on that as of yet. It was filed today. Typically, those default judgments are not sat on very long by courts. I imagine it'll be granted sometime in the near future, but as of right now, there's nothing they can do because the property title is still clouded. So they've asked that we bump this into January so they can hopefully clear up title. And I believe the communications of the board previously were their intentions were to sell it, and they had a neighbor or someone that were interested.
As soon as the title gets cleared up?
Yeah.
So should this be moved to an update or stay on the?
No, it's still unsafe. They just can't do anything with it until title's clear, and it's probably lasted longer than it needs to, but it's on the right path. So I would imagine hopefully by January there's some sort of update there.
Okay, so we just need to make a motion to defer?
Till January 17th, yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to defer this agenda item to our next meeting on January 17th.
I second. Roll call?
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenek?
Yes. Motion carries. Next property, 7500 West 129th Lane, Hartsowitz. Hello.
Hello,
State your name and address, please.
Bartolome Barswich. I actually don't live there, so my name is 12927 Webster Street in Cedar Lake.
Okay.
First things first, the biggest problem that I have with this is the report was completed on October 22nd of 2022,
Correct.
which I bought the property on September 1st, and as Ashley told me, no one was ever notified. So I bought a property that's shit, that I would never buy if I knew that was on the list. So that's the number one problem that I have. And also dealing with the town trying to get any kind of permits, that's horrible. And you have Mr. Kubiak blaming Miss Ashley for giving wrong information on the house we're trying to build. There was all kinds of stuff.
Can you give us a background?
So this was one of the few that got a report made, and then budgetarily stuff came up. So we weren't adding any new items on the agenda for a while. It was then asked to add any outstanding unsafe reports onto the potential unsafe list and get them on your guys' agendas and radar. So this one appeared on the September agenda for potential unsafe for the first one.
Which was the one I wasn't at.
September,
20th?
okay.
So who was notified at that point? Because I was told by Ashley that no one was ever notified of this until I received a letter that was dated November 6th.
So until the board sees and
Right.
determines that it is active on unsafe, it's just a report until they determine that it becomes active and somebody's notified.
And just to set the record, it appears from my agendas, this was listed as potential unsafe on October 18th, which is after you bought the property, right?
October 4th, 2022.
Correct.
Report was completed.
Are you talking about the agenda date?
No, but Ashley sent it to me.
No, I understand, just listen. So, you bought the property on October 4th,
No, I
right?
bought it September 1st.
Okay, so you owned it on October 4th and October 18th?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so the first time anyone would have ever been notified of this matter being a potentially unsafe structure that you would have had to appear
I
would have
get that
been
part.
for the
I
November
get that
15th.
part. Why does it take a year to get there?
Because this board, if you want to look through our agendas, has had quite a few items on the agenda, and they don't handle everything all at once.
A year?
Pardon me?
A year is ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous, because now I'm stuck with a house that I have to fix, which I'm fine fixing, it was gonna be fixed anyway. But now I have to deal with the town for probably hundreds of different permits, when I couldn't even get a permit to build a house, because people were blaming each other for what I'm trying to build. So how is that fair?
Well, I don't
I'm just trying to catch up here.
No, I'm trying
So it was originally listed as a potential unsafe.
At the October 2023 meeting. The report.
2 months ago.
Correct.
But there was an original report made on it back in 2022.
Correct.
At the time then, because of the list of things on the agenda, nothing happened with it, the report sat there. So as of September, October of this year, it still remained on the potential list, and those were gone through, and this one became active at that time.
Correct.
In the meantime, you purchased it, obviously not knowing that it had started to be an issue.
I mean, I live right next to it, so I know it's not an unsafe building to begin with.
Well, we can't go there because they deemed it unsafe for a reason. So, at this point, what's your intention with the home? Take away all that other
I'm
stuff.
gonna fix it.
Okay,
The other thing that I want to make public for the record is, why do I get the letter, and why do I get anything about it after I start getting impatient and pissed off that I can't get my permit to build a house? Because that's really, I received this
Permit
letter,
to what?
and this letter was dated Monday, which was a Friday after I got pissed, because no one was getting back to me on my house, on my building permit. That's when the letter was written. The letter was written and signed on November 6th, not on October 18th, like you said, there was a meeting, giving me 6 days to appear for the meeting on November 15th, when there should be a lot more notice to begin with.
So
So this was more of a F you, you're messing with us because you're getting pissed off about the permit, now I'm gonna send you this letter.
hold on a second, so you were trying to get a building permit for
That's
that?
different house. We're not doing that.
So what's your intention with this house?
I mean, I'm gonna fix it. What I'm saying is, building department trying to stick it to me because, what, because I got pissed off that they can't give me the building permit, or a simple answer, that they sent me this? I mean, that's honestly, from the beginning, that's how it felt. I did not get this letter or any kind of mention. I've been in talks with Ashley since March about the building permit for that place next door. No one has ever brought it up. Until one day I got pissed off because no one's getting back to me on the building permit. Literally 2 days after, I
You get a letter on this house.
Yeah, on this house.
So why
So
are we
you're
doing the
saying
permit on the other house?
yeah.
There,
Mr. Kubiak is blaming Ashley, saying Ashley misguided us for the permit, and she doesn't know what she's doing, and it's going back and forth. That's all other bullshit.
Okay, so everyone pause for a second. What's the deal with the permit on the other place?
I went through it.
on the other house was, he got a variance was it March, Mr. Bryson?
March 8th.
I remember that, yes.
To build a new house off of 129th and Webster Street to be 15 feet from Webster Street. It came up at that meeting that they did not intend on removing the existing house and they wanted to still build the new house. So then there was a lot of discussion on how they could go about keeping the existing structure and then building the new.
Okay.
The discussion that I had with Mr. Barca, which had been, you could either split the lots to make sure that you had an 8-foot side yard setback off of this one, and the talk was splitting it at 35 and 36 would probably be the best way, and then making sure you're maintaining your 30-foot setback, or you could go for a use variance and petition the Board of Zoning Appeals for a use variance to have 2 primary structures on one lot in an R2 residential zoning district. They split it, like
You actually
this.
sent me an email with a line on how to split it, so let's not go there.
My
can
apologies
print
if
that
the
out.
line was wonky, I
No,
thought
no,
it was
it was
to be on
perfect.
35.
So did you subdivide the property?
Oh, yeah, I've spent thousands
It's
of
split
dollars
like
on
this.
this.
Okay, so he subdivided the property so he could keep the original structure and build a new structure,
Correct.
as the town told him to.
Oh, yeah, as Ashley told me, she
So
drew
then what
a
happened?
line on my paper and sent me an email with the line. But
There became a lot of back and forth discussion in the building department about how it was split. And
why was
if it
it
needed to be split again, go through a subdivision process, or be recombined and go back into a use variance, and it's,
I mean, we can drop that because that right now is history. We are not building in Cedar Lake, we're never building Cedar Lake again. We're moving. We already bought a house in Crown Point, so that we'll be moving to. We're not going to be building in Cedar Lake because it's completely impossible to build in this town.
So we took a long way of getting there, and I would just note for the record that
I mean, for
The
the record,
background is
$20,000
nice,
trying to build a house.
but
and get
it's not
it
relevant
down.
to whether or not this property is
Right.
unsafe and what we're doing here. So we
Right,
just need to keep the
okay.
focus on this
Oh,
particular
yeah, but
property.
honestly,
So
that's the only
what-
way for me to get it out public, how town treats the residents. I mean, I spent $20,000 trying to build a house, and I kept not getting nothing but the middle finger the whole time.
So what is your intention now of this
I'm
current
gonna fix it
property?
up.
You're going to fix it
Yeah, I'm
up?
gonna fix it up and it's gonna be rental, yeah.
Okay. And where are you in that process?
I mean, the report was done in October 2022. I don't know what's changed since then. We've cut all the grass, we cleaned everything up. Most of the stuff done in the report was like garbage stuff. We fixed up the soffits, whatever else was in there. Pretty much all the stuff was already fixed up.
In the foundation footing on the southwest corner of the house?
No, that has not been touched yet.
Okay. Windows, we have exposed housing framing around the windows and assured water leakage. What's going on there?
Nothing has been, honestly, nothing has been touched because I was waiting, not one, I was waiting for this meeting. Two, I don't want to start this if I was still trying to get the permit. I was not coming here trying to talk to you
So
guys.
did we apply for a permit yet?
I did not apply for anything for this
Okay.
house because I don't
Okay.
even know what I need to do.
Okay,
And
Okay.
trying to get a permit here,
I understand.
I know how that goes.
Okay. So, we need to,
He's telling us he wants to repair this house, which is the ultimate goal of the
Correct,
board.
correct.
So how can we help him do that at this point?
He can get a scope of work together, submit a building permit. You can give us the timeline that you typically do, and we can process it and try and get him his permit.
Okay, do you have someone doing the work, or are you doing it?
I want to do the work.
Okay, so he needs,
I need to know what I need to, what I need a permit for. I need to know the first time around, not
Right.
7 months.
a remodel permit? What does he need?
It'll be for the repairs, whatever needs to be repaired on the house.
What?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Tom?
Whatever needs to be repaired on the house.
Okay,
That's what she referred to with the scope of work. Scope of work will outline what needs to be repaired in the house.
okay.
So
And-
generally
So
what,
from the
the way
report,
we've
what
we've
actually
handled
needs to be
these
repaired?
is, I mean, you have a copy of the report, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So typically, I think what would probably be appropriate is to give them 30 days to come up with the scope of work.
Okay,
Come back here in January with the scope of work, say, this is what I intend to do, fix the foundation, window siding, whatever, and then, present that to you guys, and you say, all right, what's your sort of estimated time frame for completion? He says 90 days, 120, whatever.
okay,
Then the directive would be to the building department to issue the remodel permit for that set period of time. If he completes the repairs within that set period of time, it pops off the list, all good, everybody moves on.
okay,
If it comes 120 days later and it's not done, you come back, we check in, say what happened,
right.
what do you need, and then go from there.
Okay.
That's typically how this has been handled in the past when somebody wants to make the repairs. But the first step is he has to know what the issues are and come back with some sort of scope of work so we can be sure that the unsafe conditions are remedied.
Okay,
And I think in the past as well, and I don't want to speak for Tony, especially with the holidays and all that, but if people have had questions or wanted site visits, have you met them on site to sort of go over some of that stuff? So,
Would that be something that you would want to do?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I knew there was an option for
okay.
before.
Okay, so as of now, if you call, and you can meet with Tony over there at Tony's
And they
schedule.
also have us done at the house too inside.
The what?
Before I bought it, they started removing stuff inside.
Yeah, I mean, removal isn't as problematic as putting things in and then not having inspections done. So as long as there's not like new electric with drywall up and things hidden, it's actually better if it's empty.
There'll be more permits that'll be needed, so.
So
They'll
Tony,
go through the whole house.
and generally the interior stuff is probably not within the purview of the board
Yeah.
unless it's like collapsing in upon itself.
I mean, it's gonna be part of the permit.
Right.
So I would, if you're sort of making a hierarchy of things to handle, generally it would be the items that are on the unsafe list, the foundation, the windows, the soffits, stuff like that.
Right.
To handle it, you get it off the unsafe list.
Okay.
so if you call the town, get in Tony's schedule to go meet him over there, help you figure out what needs to be done, the scope of work. You come back in front of us on January 17th, you say,
I won't have time to do it before January 7th.
okay,
I'll
so we
do it by
can
60.
defer 60 days if you want,
Yeah.
that's fine. So the February meeting, you would come with us with the scope of work and the time frame. Say, here's my scope of work, and I can have it done in 120 days. that at that time, we would agree, with the building department to issue that 120-day permit. You would not come to us
Until,
Yes.
the 120 days, and if Tony's over there and everything's good, you never come back here. And if you come at 120 days, you say, listen, my contractor, whatever, or I got sick or whatever, I need another 60 days, we do that at that point. We just want to see progression,
Yes.
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think the next step for you just to get in Tony's schedule to meet him over there and how would
Work on
that go?
the scope of work,
Sounds good.
right, okay.
Just for the board's, clarification, the February meeting will be February 21st.
February 21st. And if there's a reason you can't be here, you can always Zoom in too. But he'll get notice of that, right?
Do I get notice more than 6 days before? I mean, I'm just saying, because I was asked to come to the meeting, I got notice on, signed up on November 7th, asking me to appear on November, whatever it was, 14th.
Well, we're telling, I mean.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've not driven around Cedar Lake enough to know, there's a number of homes that are either have started the report process, need to have the
Right.
reports done, so
I don't know what
the
I'm
timing
saying,
isn't
is
always.
the letter telling me I have to come to the meeting?
Well, I'm telling you,
We're
it's
telling you,
February,
It's February.
February
Yeah.
21st, you
Right.
will need to be here with
No,
your scope.
Yeah, I got that, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, February 21st.
okay, do you have any other questions right now? Okay, all right. Well, I apologize for the issues, but it sounds like we have a plan now to move forward with it.
At my expense, yeah, believe me.
Okay, well, my apologies on that, but unfortunately, this is all I'm able to do.
I know.
Okay, so, I would like to make a motion to defer this for 60 days until the February 21st meeting.
I second. Roll call,
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes,
Mr. Rosenek?
yes. Motion carried.
and thank you for getting the outside cleaned up as well for now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next property, 14616 Dewey Street, Frick. Please state your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Sean Boyle. I'm appearing on behalf of our client Thomas Frick. I'm with the Kavachkoff Law.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm so sorry. If you could
Fine.
repeat.
My name is Sean Boyle from Kavachkoff Law. I'm appearing on behalf of Thomas Frick, our client. If you'd like the address of our law firm office, it's 405 North Main Street in Crown Point, Indiana, 46307.
Okay. So,
What's happening here, sir?
I believe this was put up for demolition. My client is fine with the demolition. He just would like to do the demolition himself. He intends to build a new house on the property.
Great.
So I would like to get this kicked out 6 to 7 months to let that process take forth, or whatever the amount that the board would give us, so that he can get the process going, get the proper permits.
Yeah, that would definitely not take 6 to 7 months.
That's fine, however much time the board's willing to afford.
So his intention is to demo himself.
Correct,
And so
demo
that he can
himself,
rebuild.
and then rebuild a house on the property.
I think that's a great plan, I appreciate that, but I'm not okay with 6 to 7 months.
That's fine, whatever the amount of time the board would need, we would be willing to come back, give an update, how everything's going. I'd also just like a list of what the board would like to see at that next meeting as well, so that way we can be prepared for it.
Well, a demo permit needs to be issued. Yeah, so that's the first step. And that's gonna have a time frame on it.
Do you know what that time frame is now?
That's gonna be, up to me and,
Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying now, a time limit, a time
Yeah.
on the permit.
yeah.
Do you know, has your client identified a contractor yet?
I do not believe so at this time.
Okay.
So,
The only reason I'm interjecting is I talked to Attorney Kavachkoff Monday, and I understand his wife was induced yesterday, and he had asked for a continuance or a deferral for today. I told him I would certainly recommend it to you guys, but, you know, I couldn't grant it because I don't have any power to do that, which I think probably as attorneys do, we get skittish and say there's always a chance something could go wrong, which is
correct.
why he sent you, and you get to spend your Wednesday night here.
Correct.
So that's the only reason for my interjection there, but.
Okay.
I think the 6 to 7 months is more a timeline on how long the entire project will take. Like I said, whatever the board is willing to give, we're more than happy to take. As far as whether you want to do a 60-day deferral, that's fine as well.
Yeah, and the town, when you do call, or he does call for the demo permit, does have a list of licensed contractors that we could refer as well. I mean, I think there's plenty of demo contractors out there. If it were me, I would be fine with the 60-day. I think that is ample time, even with it being the weather, but at least to get someone under contract, or not under contract, but someone, a contract done with a demo, to, deposit down, even if they're unable to do it right away.
Mm-hmm.
What's your
Yeah,
thought?
I mean, well, I don't know why it wasn't. Okay, no, I'm good, that makes sense to me, yeah. But he has to apply for a demo permit, right?
Yeah.
And get a contractor, maybe talk to a few before or after, or late.
Well, he has 60 days
Okay,
to get the contractor, get the permit, and have the demo done.
Okay, and the
Okay.
time period on the demo permit is,
It would be 60 days.
60 days, okay?
Yeah, well, it would be up until the day before our next meeting, Ashley, or the February meeting, which is, it would go until
February 21st, so you'll.
February 20th.
20th,
20th
yeah.
for the front, right?
Yeah. I appreciate your client taking care of it himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure his neighbors will appreciate that as well.
Absolutely, I figured it was good for everyone around, new property
Yep.
on there,
Right,
improvement, more
right.
tax money, get rid of an eyesore,
Well, thank you
so-
for coming with the plan,
problem.
yes.
Excellent, so
All right.
I'd like to make a motion for a deferral until our February 21st meeting, with the understanding that you will get a demo, or he will get a demo permit contractor, and also have the demo completed before our February 21st meeting. And the building department then can have the authority to issue that demo permit to February 20th. And then we would see either you or him back here on the 21st, unless the town's able to get there before and confirm that it's taken care of.
It may be my boss next time, I do not know, he should be back from
Yeah.
maternal leave at that time, so more than likely it's gonna be me since it's a Wednesday.
Okay.
No, yeah, no problem.
I second.
Whoever you'd like to send is fine.
Okay, and you said you wanted the demo completed by that February 21st meeting? as well?
Correct, yep,
Okay.
60 days.
Tell your boss we wanna see him.
I can try, I don't get to make those decisions though.
I second the motion. Roll call,
Ms. Sessauer?
Yes,
Ms. Rosanich?
yes. Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
thank you, sir, have a happy holiday.
You as well.
Thank you.
So that permit should expire February 20th, not
Correct.
21st, correct?
Yes.
20th, yes. Okay, next property, 14737 Bryan Street, Bowden. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Kinda. Please state your name and address.
Tiffany Taralto is my name, and the address we will discuss is 14737 Bryan Street.
We need your address, ma'am.
My address is 110 Highland Street, but I am here representing Max Property, who is the owner of this property and just recently...
What's the name of the owner?
Max Property.
Max Properties?
This person doesn't own the property anymore?
No, Richard Bonnet, no.
He closed on it December 15th.
Oh, okay, so it's Max Properties?
Yes.
Okay, so you're with the current owner,
Yes.
okay?
And they basically wanted the committee to know that the scope of work they're intending to do on this property most recently is to get rid of the debris that's outside, branches, grass, leaves, all of the things that are in the...
You're gonna have to speak up, honey. Put that is the microphone on?
It should be good.
Yeah. Okay.
I have all of the pictures that the previous owner let us review, and all of the issues within the property will be taken care of. The new owner intends to flip the property and demolish what is the garage. Also clear out all of the debris that is outside. That's where we're starting.
Okay.
And they're basically asking for an extension to next time that I come here, present the permits. But I also wanted to know what will be needed to obtain any type of permit for this property.
So the intention is to take down the garage,
Mm-hmm.
obviously clean out they're already working on cleaning up the
Yes.
outside, and then to keep the home and remodel it,
Yes,
and then flip it.
exactly.
Okay. What's their time frame on all of this? What are they asking for?
Well, for cleaning out, I'm assuming they're asking for 30 days.
To clean up and all the stuff out.
Exactly.
Okay, overall, what's their time frame to do the work and be done?
I'm assuming 3 to 4 months.
And then, and you also have to demolish the garage?
Yes.
So, I assume this company has done this before?
Yes.
So you're asking for an extension for 30 days and also some direction on what you need as far as permits go from the town?
Exactly.
Okay, Ashley, I'll let you take that.
So for permits, we'll need a repair permit and demolition permit. So the demolition permit for all the buildings and any and all buildings that you plan on taking down, because I think there's a couple additional accessory structures hiding out in
Yes. like
some
the
bushes
shed
and all that,
yeah.
so we'll also need a repair permit because it is a corporation and not a owner-occupied business. You will need a general contractor for that property. We only allow for owner occupants to work on their own house and be their own general contractor. Your general contractor will need to work with any and all subcontractors to get a complete scope of work to be submitted with that building permit.
Do you guys have a local general contractor that's licensed with the town?
Currently, I don't believe they do,
Okay.
but they have to be licensed within this town.
Right.
Yes, which they can do.
Okay.
If they're not now, they can get licensed within the town, but that's what she's saying, because it's a company and you're not living there,
Right.
it has to be a licensed contractor that's on the list through the town.
Okay, and could you provide information on?
Yeah, you can give me a call tomorrow, and you can give me an email address. I can get you over a list of current registered contractors. But if you have contractors that you use and they're licensed with county, it's not that difficult for somebody to become a licensed general contractor within the town. And I can also get you a contractor's application.
Great, okay. So then I can call you, give you a call, and then we can proceed from there,
Yeah.
okay?
And some of this kind of goes back to the Barkowitz property, where, you know, if you're gonna bump it 30 days, they clean up the outside. In 30 days, you come back with a scope of work saying this is sort of, you know, what we intend to do, we're gonna fix this, we're gonna remodel this, whatever. And then with the estimated time frame, and then I don't know if you heard the discussion with him before, it would, you know, we estimate it's gonna take 3 months or 4 months. Then theoretically, if the board approves it, they would just bump this thing out another 3 or 4 months, give them the time to get everything done and go from there. So sort of, we're at the infant stages right now, right? This is the first time you guys have appeared because you just bought it.
Right.
So typically, we need the scope of work, is sort of what the board has required. Scope of work first, and then next month's meeting, we can talk more substantively about how long it'll take and things like that.
Obviously cleaning up the exterior for the sake of the neighbors is number one. I'm sure they would appreciate that before our next meeting.
I would like to say in the meantime, if they did want to get a demo permit, and while they're cleaning up, they wanted to take the garage down, would there be anything wrong with that?
No, yeah,
No, not at all.
And if they're willing to do that before, that's even better.
Okay.
So if they do want to go ahead and get the garage down, so I guess I should start to make my motion, huh?
Hey, I'm just.
That makes sense. I'd like to make a motion to defer this agenda item for 30 days with the understanding that if they do want to come in and get the demo permit for the garage, we would be happy to issue that through the building department within the next 30 days. Along with the 30 days, which I'm saying 30, it's January 17th is our next meeting. We expect you to have your scope of work completed in some sort of time frame. So that way, when you come back on January 17th, we can talk about, okay, now we're going to pull the permit, or we have pulled the permit, we need 30 days, we need 90 days, whatever it is. So as of January 17th, we would hope for a plan on how to complete.
Okay.
That's a lot of information, does all that make sense?
No, it does.
Okay, Ashley is a wealth of knowledge and will be able to help you when you call her as well.
In your motion, is there a time limit on the demo permit if they pull that before?
If they want a demo permit on the garage, I mean, I don't necessarily need to put a time frame on that.
Yeah, I
Should I put a time frame on that?
I mean, I would just make it expire before the next meeting.
For the
Just kind of like
garage.
how you did with the previous individual.
Okay.
I mean, if they're gonna apply for the demo permit in the meantime, I anticipate they would intend on taking it down right away.
Right,
So I would just have it expire before the next meeting, is sort of how you've handled that in the past.
okay,
And if she comes in January and says, you know, they pulled it, but they couldn't get to it this week, then you can always extend it.
okay. So make it until the 17th, our next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, so with
Okay.
the demo permit, if it does get issued, would expire on the 17th.
Got it.
I second. Roll call.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Rosetti?
Yes. Motion carried.
Do you have any other questions?
No, if I do, I will ask her, Ashley.
Okay, we appreciate the purchase of the property and definitely cleaning up the
Yes.
outside is greatly appreciated,
Much appreciated.
and getting it fixed up.
Also, I want to add that the previous owner is still there, but he has agreed to, in signing, to be out of the property by the 30th of this month.
I think he's closed on a different property.
Got it. So he's just kind of parked for now?
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, he's let our utility billing department know he got another property in Thomas, so it might just be waiting.
Yeah, got it.
Close, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next property, 14714 Dewey Street. Urban James Linden.
Yes.
Hi there, how are you?
Hi.
Please state your name and address.
Urban James Linden, 14714 Dewey Street. What do you have for me?
What do you have for us, sir? Are you living in this home now?
Not exactly, no.
Okay. I guess we could start with what's your intention with the house?
With the house, you gave me an invitation to come to this meeting. What is your complaint?
Well, it's been listed on the Unsafe Committee. We're looking at pictures here. The second floor dormer, with no siding, no proper flashing along the roof, multiple layers of rotted siding along with rotted trim, windows and doors. The outside basement stairwell with no rails, trash and a rotted door at the bottom, which allows for multiple layers of rotted siding with rotted windows. And then the detached garage with a caved-in roof and walls.
And the garage falling into the neighbor's fence?
Correct.
Did you receive this
There's
list, sir?
pickup trucks inside the collapsed garage.
Yeah, that makes it a little more difficult to get the garage down.
View of the garage from the neighbor's yard to the west, it's on their property or on their fence. A bread truck that hasn't moved in quite some time, sitting in the driveway next to the house.
With insurance and
Obviously, this
license.
isn't helping your neighbors at all. I'm sorry?
The truck sitting there has always had insurance, it's always had a
Well-
license plate on it. What boss says I have to drive it?
Well, I think the car is secondary here.
Right, I'm reading on the Unsafe Committee some of the things that are unsightly, and the neighbors aren't appreciative, obviously. And it's very
Well, the
unsafe.
garage I want to take down, the house I want to repair.
Okay,
So what is it I need to get from you to get your permission to do these
Oh,
things?
well, first of all, you probably have to meet with Tony, correct, to go over the scope of work?
I don't know what your rules are.
No, I'm talking to the inspector. You're probably gonna have to meet with him, make an appointment with the inspector to do the scope of work. That means everything that has to be repaired.
How do I do that?
We'll call the building department, schedule with, usually Nicole is the one that makes those schedules. So she'll schedule a time for us to get out there with you. We won't need to look at the garage to see what needs to be repaired, because it just needs to be demolished. So there will be a,
Yes, you do. I've talked to a couple of people.
okay,
You want to talk about unsafe, I've had people offer to come over and take it down for me, not understanding the situation whatsoever.
okay.
That would have been very unsafe. You'd end up with people being hurt.
Sure.
No, that's unacceptable.
No, I said,
I'm
sure, they
concerned
would be
with
hurt, and that is unacceptable, and we would
Yeah,
require that a
because people
contractor
think they
or yourself
understand and they don't.
do the demo.
If you look at the garage, you think, oh, the building is falling down. You know why?
I would say
No one except for
deterioration.
me's got a clue as to why, because, well, that's not an easy thing to deal with. In fact, I figured for the garage, I'm gonna need two permits. One to remove the wooden part, which has to be done carefully, because the garage is not empty. There's the vehicle in there.
Sure.
There's also other things in there, many other things in there, which would be unsafe if you just come in there with equipment, knock the garage down. You could start a fire, you could get nasty things all over the place. You know, you just can't do that. You have to do it the hard way, just take it apart.
Well, sir, the details of that would be up between you and the contractor, you and your contractor.
I intend to do it myself.
Oh.
You're gonna demo the garage by yourself?
I'm going to take it down. I have to take it apart. You don't just come in and knock it down. I've also had a volunteer to do that. He has the equipment, he could just knock it down. That would be terrible. He wouldn't get hurt, but he could cause one heck of a lot of damage. You could cause a fire, you could cause all kinds of bad things to happen if you don't understand real conditions that are involved.
So what?
I want it to be fixed safely. The way I look at it, I'm the responsible party. You people have the authority. It'd be real nice if you would work with me so this can be done, everything can be fixed and done safely.
What are you telling me you would like, sir? I'm asking you the question. You're telling me that you're gonna take this garage down by yourself?
Yes.
Oh, and what's your time frame on that?
Well, the plan wasn't to do it in the winter, really. But I can check it out and see how much of it I can take care of in the winter. But do I have the permission to even do that? Don't I have to get the permit, your permission, in order to take it down?
Well, I mean, it's a permit.
It's a permit.
No permission to fix the problem.
Well, unfortunately, it's come to the point now with this property that it's in front of.
Other possible parties involved with it were the town of Cedar Lake. Everyone else has died.
In all due respect, I mean this sincerely, you could see this garage falling apart and leaning.
Well, when did you see it?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah? This has just happened in the last few months.
Well, these properties end up
I've
in
been
front.
holding it up for years.
Sir, I'm trying to help you. These properties end up in front of us because of citizen complaints. We don't drive around looking for them, they're everywhere. So enough people called and were concerned about the safety of this home that it ended up being.
The unsafe thing right is the garage, and it's unsafe if somebody comes over there.
Well, we all know kids do that, sir. We all know kids run around and they run through.
It's not the kids you have to worry about.
Okay, so,
It's the slightly older people looking for something to steal.
So this report was actually created on December 14th of 2022. So these pictures date back to them, of 2022.
of 2022, sir.
Of 20.
So it wasn't just a couple months ago that the garage, I mean, it may look worse now. So the pictures in this report.
Very different now. Very, very different.
Okay, then it's
December
worse.
of last year?
December of last year was when this report and these pictures were made.
December of this year?
This report didn't make it to the agenda if you were in this, in this room during Mr. Barsowitz'
Yes, I
whole
heard
thing
that.
here. Right,
But
these
you
reports
guys
are
don't
made
really
at times that
Don't seem to be too serious about
these
the fact
reports
you
are
have the
made,
authority.
may I speak, sir? These reports are made at the time that the complaints are made. They don't always make it onto the agenda because of the busyness of the agenda. When these reports are made, they sit in the unsafe file. To my experience, to my understanding, there hasn't been any type of repairs done to this house, so it's in no better condition than it was a year ago when the report was made. Is that correct?
Yeah, you might say that. That
Okay.
it's not in better condition than it was a year ago.
Okay, but for your statement that this happened to the garage only a few months ago,
Oh, it's really bad now. It really got away from me. If I see the picture you have from a year ago,
sure.
I'm sure it looks nothing like what it looks like now.
Oh, my God. What do we do?
That's the chain that was holding it from falling onto the neighbor's fence. That's from the front.
Yeah, I've talked to the neighbor, and I told him, when I get the garage done, I'll replace his fence.
Okay. Those are the pictures we have from December 14th, 2022.
Yeah, the west side, that is falling back. It needs to be carefully taken away.
Yeah, if you're willing to do that, I mean, we're all over this, for sure.
Yeah, it's a statement, that's something. How you quit.
Sure.
How you can get people injured. We really risk doing bad things. There's oil, fuel oil, there's I don't know what inside the vehicle. And the vehicle, I'm sure there's gas in the vehicle.
Sure.
It's a dangerous thing if people just charge in.
Right. I get you. Well, I guess the board,
Do I have to get a meeting with you to?
that's gonna be on the house. I mean, as far as the garage, there's no fixing that, obviously. You wanna get a demo permit for that, and the board will give you direction on, you know, what kind of time frame you're looking for that. As far as the house, repairs on the house, yeah, we can set up a meeting to go out and look at the house and get a scope of work and assess.
Yeah, the house, I intend to fix.
Okay.
Well, in fact, one of the problems with the back of it, I hired a contractor to shoot a roof. $2,000. And he talks me into it, he says, if that's what.
Okay, sir.
I just take that off. I'm gonna make a big funnel into my face.
Okay, sir, let's get back on track here.
I'm back.
So what are your intentions? What are you going to do with this
Well, I'd
project?
like to take care of the garage to start with.
Okay,
But
so,
that's something too, I think that's gonna require 2 permits.
Okay.
One to get rid of the wooden part, and then to remove the foundation, which somebody had thought, or apparently they thought they were doing it the right way.
okay.
They did it a very bad way, which
So
caused
the
the ground to
first
destroy.
step would be to talk to the building permit department to find out exactly what it is you need to remove this garage.
Well, just a demo permit, yeah, we're
Just
not
a
concerned
demo?
about the foundation at this point. I'm concerned about this garage falling.
Garage falling, yes, so.
You included,
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, I
So-
don't want anybody getting.
We're not worried about the
But with the
foundation.
neighbors, like on the one side, it's damaged his fence, and I've already told him, when I get the garage out of there, I'll replace his fence.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
to be honest with you, I'm concerned about you doing the work.
I'm concerned about somebody else doing it, because people don't tend to pay attention.
Can't you just sit out there and like yell at them though and tell them what to do?
It doesn't seem to work.
Sir, I really feel very uncomfortable with you doing work on this garage in the condition that it was a year ago, according to my pictures. It would be a great idea to get a demo permit and get
Taking itself down.
a list of our contractors that are licensed through the town, call 3 or 4 of them, have them come out, and you can just boss them around and make sure they do it the correct way.
Yes,
That way you're
I've used one of
safe.
them before, that's how I got the problem where I have a big funnel in the back of the house now, pouring water into my basement.
Well, this would be a demo contractor, so,
That's better than one that does roofs.
well, for sure, they can take stuff apart, yeah. And I understand there's an art to it, because you have things in there that you would like, but that's why, you pay them so they can do it the correct way and no one gets hurt. I don't want you to get hurt.
No,
that worries
I
me.
don't want anyone to get hurt doing it.
Well, but they're professionals. They have
Oh, yeah.
insurance and they're meant to do that. My suggestion would be to call the town and get a list of demo contractors that are licensed through the town. That way you know they have insurance, they're professional, they know what they're doing. Meet with a couple of those people if you'd like, 1, 2, 3, well, whoever calls you back, and let them give you a plan. Tell them what you want saved out of here. They can do that.
I just want the garage taken down safely.
That's all you have to
And
tell
I don't want
them.
you to
There
do
are
that,
all
what I'm
kinds
saying.
of things in the garage, I don't even know all of the stuff that's in there. Flammable things and,
Yeah. Well, and like I said, they're professionals. They've done this 100,000 times throughout time. That this is not the first time they've demoed a garage full of stuff.
Advise them to get a permit.
But you need to call the town and get that demo permit and get that list of contractors to come out that can help you get this garage down. We can deal with the house later. The house isn't falling down at this point, the garage is. So that's step 1. And then we'll work with you with the house if that is an issue still, but the garage is really the main concern at this point. Tony? Okay.
Okay, so,
So, Ashley, do you have a card, or can you write down the number that he needs to call to talk to you about the permit, or does he just need to come in and do that?
He can just come in and do that, and we can provide him a list of the registered contractors, we can provide him a building permit application at that point in time.
Okay, so it's just right where you came in through the doors here, you just come back tomorrow, or within the next couple of days, or the next week?
next couple of days.
Yeah.
Like Christmas?
Well, I mean, we have some time before Christmas. I'm a doer, I just get things done quick.
Like the next 5 days or so.
Well, I think, sir, at this point,
We need
the
to-
next meeting is on January 17th, and we would like to have a plan done by then.
Okay.
You think we can make that happen? The town is happy to help you move this along as quickly and
Yeah.
easily as possible
Yeah.
for you. Please do not go out there and start moving this garage,
Safely.
which means we don't want you doing that.
And just so we're clear, when you say you want a plan, you're just talking about, we're just focused on the garage right now, right? The house will be addressed later.
Yes.
Focus on this garage that's falling down, it's massively unsafe thing on the property. Does that, I mean, are you okay with that for now?
Yeah, they're-
Stop in, get a demo permit, Ashley will help you, or whoever is at the front desk with a list of a couple people to call, and they'll come out to the property, you can boss them around, tell them whatever you want saved and what you want done. And then, if you can come back on January 17th with a plan, and we'll help you from there.
okay,
Does that sound okay?
okay.
Okay.
I'll see you.
So I'd like to...
January 17th.
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion to defer this for our next meeting on January 17th, with the understanding that you'll make it in to get a demo permit and our list of contractors in order to get the garage down as soon as possible.
Okay.
You will not be removing the garage yourself.
I second that motion. Roll call?
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes. Motion carried.
Next, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Update items?
Number 17109 West 146th Avenue, Hebner, that house has been demolished.
It's been demolished?
That's
Gone.
how,
Wait, hold on a second. What was it?
Last Monday?
yes.
Not like
Can you say it
2 days
one more
ago.
time?
It's gone. Gone. Demo, disappeared.
Wow. Could we get a round of applause? What? I don't know, but I'm just really happy right now. Demo, yes, fantastic. So we can officially remove this from the agenda.
Yeah, Ashley was prepping the bill of cost to send to Mr. Ebner. I would keep it updated until we know exactly what needs to happen there. If he pays it, great. If he doesn't, then we'll just have to go through the leaning process.
Okay, so
I
we'll
would just keep that as an update for maybe another month, and then we'll know if he pays or if we have to lean it.
Okay, perfect. That's great news.
8120 Lakeshore Drive, no new update there, waiting on updated engineering documents and PUD documents from their attorney and engineering firm.
Okay, wait, stop on that one, because I have a question about this one.
Yes,
This has been,
Yeah.
this was on fire last November. So we've looked, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows when Shane's was on fire.
2 years November.
2 years in November, see how fast time goes. Here's my problem. This, we've been looking at this for 2 years. This is on the thoroughway into our town, in and out of our town. It's also in the middle of a subdivision in the
Right.
neighborhood. This needs to, and now they've come in front of the plan commission, but don't really have a plan for that either.
they have,
They did not have anywhere close to a plan that was gonna happen. The parking was all off, there was all sorts of things that were wrong with it. So nothing is moving quickly as far as the plan.
Right.
Everyone is sick of looking at this.
Can we have them come in to the next meeting?
This-
or-
I don't feel comfortable with it being an update. We need to move this to,
Unsafe.
You can make a motion to move it back to the regular agenda and
Correct.
order him to appear and
this has been 2 years.
Yeah.
On top of that, with the location of it, and the proximity of all of those
are
homes
you
back there,
suggesting that people actually drive by the property and see it on a daily basis?
like a lot of times a day.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
including myself. I'm tired of looking at it, and after seeing them come to the plan commission, which I was present for, we are very far away from anything even happening there, in my head. I don't want to speak for the rest of the commission. So I don't feel comfortable with this being an update item. I would like,
Put it back on.
I'd like to make a motion to bump this back up.
And I second.
Am I ordering them to appear at the January 17th meeting?
Correct. Roll call.
Ms. Bessauer?
Yes.
Ms. Rosennen?
Yes.
And I guess one, just sort of bookkeeping item, since it was brought up with, was it Mr. Barkowitz? I know you guys are busy in the building department, if you guys can get those orders to appear out as quickly as possible, just so we don't have issues where somebody gets it a week before and then
Right,
they can't show up.
right.
Because then you're either gonna have somebody who's mad complaining about it, or you're gonna have somebody who can't show up because they get a week's notice. So
Correct.
I know you guys are busy, especially with the holidays and everything, but I would just try to get those out as quickly as possible.
And what's proper notice for that?
Well,
I mean, I would like, in a perfect world, right, when we do our demo orders, we try to get the service of them out within a day or two of this meeting, because they have 30 days to get the property knocked down and all that stuff. So I would prefer sort of the orders to appear be similar. I imagine they're standard form letters, but I also know that Ashley is gonna have stuff from this meeting and the next meeting and all those other things. So if you could have them done and out by the end of the week, I think that would probably be best, if they can have at least 3 weeks notice of the
right,
next
I
meeting to
agree,
show up.
yeah.
Well, when someone comes in for a variance or anything else, they have to notify neighbors.
Minimum of 10 days before the hearing.
There's no hard, fast, and loose in the statute, because the statute doesn't, theoretically require an order to appear to be issued. We do it because we want people to come in to explain the situation to you guys, and give them your plans or
Yeah.
whatever, so.
I can report it has gotten easier, because I used to type each one out to appear. Since then, a couple months ago, I worked with Cliff, and I got a form letter put together with the Unsafe database where I just fill in the date and it automatically populates, so I can get them turned around within a couple of days now.
Excellent.
So.
I would definitely like this group to be at our next meeting.
Okay.
12901 Hilltop, 6599 Fernwood, 14021 Windsor Street, 7029 West 135th Avenue, 7020 West 139th Place, and West 127th Lane are all still on the active demolition list. Hopefully, we can try and get a couple more knocked down next year. Just to provide the board a minor update, I know you asked last month to have budgetary talks with the clerk treasurer. She intends on being present next month at the January meeting to talk unsafe budget and kind of how that stuff breaks down, so that the board is then aware of how the budget works and why we can only do so many houses at a time.
Why so long?
Just because with the end of the year and knowing that one of the board members was changing, she wanted to make sure that it was the new board who's going to be present to get to hear the budgetary conversation.
I would, like to push for that to be earlier than
The
another
January
month.
17th meeting?
Yeah, because I requested it in November, so that's 2 entire months after. So I would like to request that that happens earlier than the 17th of January. We'll have our new position as an unsafe when? Will that be voted in at the beginning of the month?
The new town council will vote on sitting board members likely at their January 2nd meeting. I cannot speak for one, but I'm sure that will likely be an agenda item. The plan commission will vote their next unsafe board nomination at their January 3rd special public meeting that we typically have at the beginning of the year. So by January 4th, we should have it.
Okay, so we'll have the board in place by January 4th.
I will work with Jen on getting a meeting scheduled.
Perfect.
I know it's not public comment yet, but it's right there.
Oh, yeah, that's next.
I'm just gonna say to you, with your concerns that you just posed there, we're gonna be taking a really hard look at some of that stuff and the financial aspect of things and the ability to get some of that done in-house.
Good, good.
And try to pull some of that together. So hopefully some of the frustrations from the public and from
And the board.
the board can get addressed. Just saying.
Are you comfortable with that meeting being before the 17th of January?
I am unless I'm out of town.
Oh, so you have a life beyond the town?
I'd like to meet my grandson.
Oh, for sure. Understand. I just like, I don't wanna waste any more time with it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Okay, public comments? State their name. Hi, please state your name.
Bob Grosek, 14055 Deodore Street, Cedar Lake. I'm listening to all this about driving by Shane's Bar and Grill, everybody's driving by there. My question to this board is, what about that old barn on 138th and Parish? What's going on with that? There's holes in the roof.
Shilling Development.
Oh, the one that they're trying to keep?
What are
Yeah.
they doing with it? What, have they given you a plan what they're doing with that? I mean, they're building $500,000 homes and they got this piece of garbage, I shouldn't say garbage, it's probably a nice
Yeah,
building.
it's a historical piece of the town that they were trying to maintain.
What plans have they proposed to you that they're gonna do? Nobody knows.
Last discussion, was when they came in for the preliminary plat for Beacon Point Beacon Point, commonly referred to as West, but units 6, 7, and 8, was that they were trying to work with somebody to get some type of, like, wedding venue or restaurant-style business in there, because it is zoned commercial, so that it can be repaired to its historical.
They're not under any time frame?
Well, they're not.
I don't believe any time frame was given to them during that discussion.
Yeah.
But you're going after McShane, or the Shanes, whatever.
So
It's the
Shane's,
same thing. you know?
I'm gonna answer your question.
Yeah.
So Shane's has been on the unsafe building list for some time.
Okay, is this unsafe, the barn?
Well, I don't know, we would have to have a report done on that.
Your opinion?
Doesn't look too safe to me.
Well, maybe you can make a motion to have a report made up to see if that building is unsafe and maybe get Schilling to do something with that building or get a time frame when they plan to do it.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, is a phone call or,
In person.
or a report?
Is that a planning commission item currently?
No.
So there's not any movement on it currently?
He's here.
It actually,
But he
Hey.
made a complaint in person. So why
Just
can't?
throw him in the fire? Mr. Slager, would you mind stepping up to the podium?
Good evening.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you walked in literally at the worst but best time. This is the unsafe meeting,
Okay.
unsafe building meeting, and we just had a concerned citizen ask about the barn by Beacon Point.
Oh, sure.
So instead of us sending a letter, making phone calls, you're
Yeah.
here right now, so would you like to answer the question?
Yes, we actually sold the property, the lot and the barn to Diamond Peak Homes, who is one of the main builders in there. I don't know what their plans are for it, but they do own it.
Okay.
Probably close to a year now, so I think they had intentions to do something creative with it,
Okay,
but I don't know, so they,
so Schilling just no longer owns it?
correct.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're off the hot seat
Yeah.
then. Yeah, but thank you for that information.
Sure.
So along with that, sir, we will be, contacting Diamond Peak
Thank you.
about that. Yeah, you're welcome. See how helpful it is when people come to meetings? Look at this. Then we just get stuff done. Love it.
Any more public comments?
Wait, just to close that circle. So we'll be contacting Diamond Peak, or should we just have a report done on it?
I mean, we don't know that it's unsafe.
So,
So we need to start the process where it originally begins, and that is Tony needs to
Inspect.
prepare his report. And from there, we would handle this in the same way that Barstowick was handled, the same way that Frick's been handled.
okay, perfect.
We need the report first, it would then be presented to you guys.
Okay.
And then, I mean, if Ashley wants to make contact with the folks from Diamond Peak in the meantime, she can certainly do that. But we don't really have any authority over anything until we know that it meets the statutory criteria for being unsafe.
Okay, so Tony, since you have nothing else to do in the next month or so,
Were those pictures added for that Bryan Street house?
They were not.
So you're okay with that?
Yeah,
Being added?
if you want me to, sure,
Let's
that's
just
fine.
get her done.
Okay.
Yes, we're done, right?
No other comments? Okay. Meeting adjourned at 6:57.